Hi everyone. Well, I decided that what I think I'm going to do next actually is test all the resistors for auto tolerance. So R1 through R12 should be pretty easy to do. The first thing I want to do though, to reduce any effects of wrong values, is cut out all the capacitors. And to do that, what I want to do is I want to document it by either by taking pictures, which I've already done extensively of the chassis, just in case I screw up. Take copious amounts of pictures, and then also by video here. I can reference the video too. I'm not going to go by the parts list for now. I'm just going to go by the schematic and see if the value's here, check out what's on it there. And let's start with the two-section electrolytic, the big one. Let's see, part of it is C118. I don't have my glasses. Yeah, it looks like it's C118, unless it's C11B. I only see one C11. I'm assuming there's a C11A and a C11B. Let's check that out. Okay. Because there's not 118 capacitors in this thing. So I would guess C11A. Okay. So, right. There's the C11, I assume B section. And this is the C11, I was right, C11A. Well, that's funny. Here it says 20 microfarads, C11A, at 150 volts, and C11B, 40 microfarads, 150 volts. And if you look at C11 here, it does say C11, doesn't say A and B, so I guess it's included. 20/40 microfarads at 150 volts. Alright, well that happens to be this. And as you can see here, both sections are 40 microfarads at 150 volts. And this looks original. That all looks original. So I'm going to assume this is the way they designed it. They may have changed the schematic. This may be a newer version chassis or an older version chassis, I don't know, than the schematic. And so I think what I'll do is I'm going to replicate what's in the chassis already, because it hasn't been touched. So I'm going to go with the 40 microfarads times 2 at 150 volts for that one. Okay. Now let's see. Let's look for paper caps here. There's 1.01 microfarad at 200 volts. That's C21. That's probably a paper cap. Let's look for C21. Okay, there's C1. Comes right in from the antenna. So when I was taking off the back of the radio, the antenna, the loop antenna, had a paper cap, and I bet that's the one. Let me go get that. Well, here's the antenna. I wanted to put the antenna in a safe place. Well, I put it in too safe of a place. It took me a while to find it. But anyways, That's the 0.01 cap there. You can read it okay. One thing I noticed while I was looking at this is interesting how this antenna is constructed. It's like this corrugated cardboard cut into strips, and the coils are in between the strips. And then it looks like it's impregnated by some kind of, I don't know, almost like a beeswax thing that they'd use in the capacitors. But it's held up over these years, and probably a pretty good design. Do it this way. Here, you can see the edge. You can see the. If you look, I think I saw the wires on the inside too. Did I see them? Let's see if we can see them in between. I think I had better light before. Anyways, you can see how the wires are wrapped around there. Interesting. Alright, that's C1. Obviously I don't have to clip that one out. It's not even connected to the circuit. Okay, let's look for C2. See what it says in the parts list for C2. Oh, well, don't have to worry about that. That's gained tuning capacitors, C3 and C8. So let's look for C4. C4 is the electrolytic, 20 microfarads all by itself. That would be this guy right here. Okay. So we'll clip that one out. Find my clippers. Let me get a flashlight. Now, I need to find out what tube socket this is. And if you look here, there's the tube layout. Okay, but that's looking from the top. So what we need to do is reverse it and turn it backwards like this. Okay, so it's a mirror image. So that means that that positive lead is going to 12SA7, turned around, makes it the most left tube, and I need to find out what pin it goes to. I'm going to cut that one, first of all, where the notch is where it starts cutting clockwise, so this is pin 1, pin 2, pin 3, pin 4. And if we look at the 12SA7 on the schematic, it should jive with that. Okay, 12SA7. Okay, pin, well, if I can read that. Oh, there's 4. And there's the capacitor right there, 20 microfarads at 150 volts. See it coming out of the right of the tube? So that's that one. So that's definitely right. Okay, so the 12SA7, pin 4. Should be safe to cut that because I got it documented here. Okay, that gets that capacitor out of the circuit. Also, I cut the lead not at the where it attaches onto the socket, but left a little bit, because if you want to match it up, it kind of matches and you can kind of tell where it goes. Just kind of helps you. But it's out of the circuit, so it's not going to affect readings around there. Now let's continue. Let's go by the parts list again. Okay, that took care of C4, and C5 is part of the gang tuning capacitor. 6, 7, 10, and 19, and 22 at 0.05s. A very, very popular capacitor used in these radios. 0.05, 200 volts. So let's look for C6 and C7, and we'll cut those out of the circuit. And see C8. C6. Right down there. C6. And well, for now, let's just go with C6. Okay, it goes between ground and L3, coil L3. You can see here there's a ground and a chassis ground, and this ground I believe will be the actual metal chassis, and this ground could be some kind of floating ground. Let's check that out. L3. That must be this coil right here. Okay. Well, I found C6. It's across the 220K resistor, which is red, red, yellow. And that is the 220K resistor there. And electrically, if you pull this cap back here, it goes from this pin, which is the same tie point as, trying to find my finger again in the hardest time. Okay. Okay. Which goes from here to here. That's this point here. Okay. And the other end goes to chassis ground, which is right there. Okay. So that is C6. If I pull it up and turn it around here, there we go. 0.05, 200 volts. And there's another one I can clip out. This one I think I'm going to clip out right at the ground connection. So, get my little pliers. Okay. Okay, so that's C6. Okay, cutting this wire here. Okay, see that matches that. And this electrolytic, if you pull it up, still matches this up here. Again, there's two capacitors. And just keep doing that until they're all done. And I guess I won't bore you with the rest of it. Maybe I'll pick up the video again when I have them all snapped out of the circuit, and then we'll go ahead and check the out of tolerance resistors.